grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, God evening to all. My name is Justin B. I am a son of an all-powerful, perfectly loving God and a qualifying addict of multiple fellowships, living in the miracle of one day at a time recovery. And I'm here with my sister, the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, please say hi and let us know what's happening in your life.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki M, and I'm an intelligent agent spearhead according to my big book. That's my pronoun. I'm a spearhead. That's what I want to be referred to as. And I'm just grateful. We had a beautiful noodle meeting, and we have a friend that she does a lot of meditation, Mia. And Mia just, she just speaks truth over the entire group. And it's just a wonderful thing to have a fellowship that you crave, people who understand you and get you, and that you can be your authentic self. And that's what not only Noodle Nikki on our Monday morning, that's what you allow from me, Justin. You let me be me. You've never said, Nikki, you should tone it down. Lately, I've been doing my Greta Thunberg impersonation, like, how dare you? How dare you? And you never do that to me. You're just like, be you, Nikki. So I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude about being my authentic self and having people around me who really understand me and understand what I'm driving at. Grateful. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. And I'm grateful for you that you continue to be you. I mean, you are you. You are unique, and I love you. And sometimes I'm like, wow, that was crazy. But I'm so happy that you can say those things and be you and just speak to everybody with power, honesty, and truth. So it's good stuff. All right, everybody, this is Noodle It Out with Nikki M. It is an important part of the Rico 12 family of recovery resources. Got other podcasts, the Big Book Roundtable that Nikki and I do with David G. We've got the weekly speaker meeting and the Afro-Euro speaker meeting. Each of those happen weekly. You can find all of those resources on all podcast platforms. You can find us at rico12.com. And if you out there, we are self-supporting. So if you out there are like your higher power saying, hey, chip off a few bucks, consider doing it with Rico 12. We are very grateful for that. It really helps us keep the lights on, keeps this project moving forward. We are working on another project, Nikki and I, that we're excited to. It's getting close, Nikki. It's getting close. I've only got like 18 more entries to do, so we're getting there. And so everybody, keep your ear to the ground, and we've got something fun coming up here before too long. All right, let's jump into this and noodle it out with Nikki. We take questions from you, our audience, from people in our lives, whether it be sponsees or sponsors or people from our daily lives who may not be in the rooms of recovery, or from our own lives to the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous to find a solution to all of our problems. And Nikki helps us dive through that. So get ready, get your big book out, get ready to chase through those pages like crazy as we find solutions on all sorts of pages for all sorts of problems. Nikki, today's question comes from somebody that I know who is really struggling right now. This person's spouse left them about a year ago, and their spouse is not coming back. It's very unlikely that's going to happen. Spouse is moving on with their life, and the person that I'm referring to is desperately trying to convince them that they made a huge mistake, and reaching out to me and saying, hey, I'm going to send this reel to this person to convince them. I'm going to do these things to convince them. So, Nikki, let's talk about this. What does the Big Book say? What do we need to do here to, find some sanity in our own lives and maybe help others who may be experiencing something similar?
Wow. I mean, man, it's a bummer, right? When you don't get what you think you want, because that's the reality. Is because I've been there, Justin. He wouldn't marry me. Remember, I was gonna kill myself and kill my lover. And God's plan is so great. Let me write that page down because I want to end on this page. I want to write the number, but here it is. It's really page, of course, 417. And acceptance is the answer to all your problems. That's why I take everybody there at the beginning of anything. Like if you are new in program, you're hearing us. You're not even in program. You're like, I've run across this podcast about, whatever category it comes over, self-help or change or growth or, spirit world. And this is the prayer. If the whole world lived here, that doesn't mean you lay down and do nothing. But it says you do the next right thing on page 420. You never just sit and do nothing while waiting for God to tell you what to do. You do the next right thing. But page 417 says acceptance is the answer to all your problems. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. See, we're here for a new belief system, my friend. And so you may want to, and it sounds like you work with this guy, maybe in your home group, he may be a friend of yours. Remind him and always take him back to page 62. Friend, you made decisions based on self that have later placed you in a position to be hurt. Now it says hurt. If you're my sponsee, or like my friend Justin, I would suggest cross out hurt and put destroyed. See, you were making decisions based on self. Why? Because you're so selfish. You're so self-centered. For years and decades, you were driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-pity, and self-seeking. I think I'm not even looking at the page. And then you stepped on the toes of this wife. She could only take so much. And so this is the hard reality that you need to accept the situation. Now, who knows? Who knows what 4 or 5 years may do? Who knows? We don't know the future. But for today, the reality is she's not coming back. So let's turn to page 114. 114. Justin mentioned a lot of projects we do. And I'm grateful because it's the chop wood, carry water. We started this right in COVID. And what is it, 4 or 5 years later, you've got 18 more pages to do. And by the time it all comes out, but that's what we've been doing. And I actually given up on that project, to be honest, Justin. There's a prime example, friend. I was like, man, Justin's really busy. Now he's got 2 grandbabies and now I just gave up on it. I've been asking people, like kind of pushing it to other people, see what they could do for us. And then here it is, totally forgotten. And then it's coming to life. So let's go here where it says on page 114, the power of God goes deep. See, the power of humility, the power of being patient, the power like Justin and I have done, chopping wood and carrying water for 4 years on this project. I mean, it may be another year before we actually hold it in our hands. I don't know. I don't know the time limit on it. With AI, it could be tomorrow. Who knows? But here it goes too. It says, go down a little further because I know you've taken your friend here, Justin. If you haven't, I'll let you noodle that out for a minute with me. But it says, but sometimes you must start life anew. Now let's think about it. Your wife probably had to do that. She had to start life anew many times while you were in the depths of your addiction. And finally, she had had enough because you forgot in step 9 where it says it's on page 83, but I want to go back to page 114, Justin. But it says, yes, there is a long period of reconstruction ahead. So Justin's in program. His wife made it into the rooms 8 years before he did. And all of a sudden he's in the rooms and he's like, honey, I have my 6-month sober chip or 6 months I've been free from whatever. I don't know how you mark your time or whatever. And then your wife looks at you and says, yes, but for 20 years, sir. So your 6 months actually means nothing. Now, by the grace of God, your wife made it in. And so she's very armed with the facts. Maybe this woman hasn't. And she can't take any more. And I know many people like that. They just can't take any more. Because if you read the next thing, it says here on page 114, if such a man, because now she's left you, you're a man, you need to adopt a spiritual way of life so your road will be smoother, because sending memes, you know me, Justin, remember I was a zombie. What was it, 2 years ago when Stefano wouldn't speak to me? I cried to you and David many times. I don't know what to do. I was dying. Oh, I was sending the memes. I was sending the Instagram 2-minute shorts, the Facebook shorts, and they would go ignored. I was patient, and we're going on vacation in 3 weeks. Come in.
Yeah, this is all good stuff, and that sometimes you must start life anew, and there are times maybe where, well, and Nikki, I think you could probably speak to this too. The person that's doing the leaving is also very unhealthy, and that's where the sick man's prayer comes in. You know what? I cannot dictate to them if they are spiritually sick and they need. They've convinced themselves that they need to leave because they just can't deal with the whether it be the recovery, whether it be the life, whether it be the whatever that's happening with their partner, and that sick man's prayer of this person is a sick person just like me, and I pray for them that they find some happiness, that I'll show them tolerance, pity, and the other word that I can't think of right now, but yeah, and I think it's vital for us and for others who are out in these same types of situations to recognize, yes, I have a massive part in this. I've stepped on toes and it's come back to destroy me. But also that other person may be spiritually sick too, just like me, and see it from that perspective also. Further thoughts on that, Nikki?
Yes. And another further thought is that besides the project that we're working on, you and I, we also have the roundtable, and we're mucking up this. I think it's the most vital chapter because it's two wives. And if you're not reading this, because you're going to hear this podcast, friend, Justin's going to send it to you. If you have not examined this chapter and walked a mile in someone else's moccasins, you will not be free of this, because here it is, page 107, Justin, and we went through it. Think about this. As animals, see, your wife has been an animal on a treadmill. So not only was Justin an animal behaving however he behaved, and details don't matter. And same, how about Nikki? Nikki was an animal on a treadmill. I didn't even know it because remember, my addict life is my only normal one. I can't differentiate the true from the false. So is what you just said. His wife, number one, his wife was there with him in his disease. She must be sick too. You just took us to that page. They, like ourselves, page 67, are sick like us too. So back to page 107, as animals. See, we read that the other day, Justin, but we always are reading so much, and you and I are hanging on to what David says. But while you and I are here, we can chew on that word, animals. We're animals on a treadmill. So that's what you've been doing, sir, and that's what your wife. And she patiently waited, and wearily climbed back in exhaustion on that wheel of misfortune. It's going to be different this time. It's going to be different. And finally, she's had enough. When what? Now you're recovered? Honey, look, I've lost 1,000 pounds, but I spent 10 years with you begging you to stop eating the junk food. And now you look great, but I'm exhausted. And my line out says back in exhaustion. You know what my line out says, Justin? Sick as the addict after each futile effort to reach solid ground. I'm drowning too. I'm the desperation, and I don't even know what's happening. So and this is your wife, sir. Most of us, that was your wife, Justin, entered the final stage. And let's drift Justin back there. How his wife felt in the final stages of its commitment to health resorts, sanitariums. I want to die. She's there with her husband, kids. I can't even imagine. And your community and all that. Hospitals. She's not going to jail because she's probably sweet as a button. I can't even imagine. But oh, yeah, we get ugly, don't we, Al Anons? Sometimes there was screaming delirium and insanity, Justin. You know that. I know you can. It's that. It's not morbid reflection. It's actually euphoric recall because you're never going to be there again, man. Never. Never do you and your beautiful wife have to be there. Death was often near. So, sir, it's no wonder she left. Thank God she didn't kill herself. Let's just thank God and go deeper. What if kids are involved, Justin? Maybe her only choice was to leave because she will kill herself or pop pills and be a walking, you know how that, I don't even need to tell you. There it goes.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. And, this next, that list of, commitment to health resorts, sanitariums, hospitals, jails, in more modern times, we don't often talk about sanitariums or hospitals in our disease, although that does happen, definitely. But therapy, maybe I'm over therapied. Maybe, me and my spouse are so deep in that we're blind to the emotional or the spiritual connection that can happen in there, and thus we run away because, well, in therapy, I'm seeing it this way. What are your thoughts on that, Nikki? I know I'm treading on thin ice there with a lot
No,
of people,
let's
but
noodle
let's
it
do
out.
it.
Don't,
Yeah.
yeah, don't mute because here it is really. How much money are you going to spend on therapy? Go deeper. You know this. Honey, let's take a vacation to Mexico. Now you're $10,000 on the Mexican vacation. It's great for the week. And then what happens, Justin?
Well, life keeps on lifing.
There, and you come back so you've spent thousands because I think the next line here really, it says, it arose out of ignorance of alcoholism. So if you're ignorant about the disease of alcoholism, and it sounds like our friend is, because if he was really armed with the facts of alcoholism, he would more than understand, he would overstand. Maybe she needs to leave for a moment. And maybe if I do this work for some time, just like my friend Justin and his wife, I could be reunited. And maybe not.
And be okay with whatever the outcome is, because I'm doing the work and connecting with that power that does for me what I cannot do for myself. Yeah.
Here it
Yeah,
is, Justin.
absolutely.
Here it is, really, because I think you can. I mean, let me look at the time. We can noodle it out a little bit more, but let's read this because you know this to be true on page 100 when it says, both you and the new man must walk. So read that for us because that's what I think the guy doesn't understand. Like, Justin, if say for instance, the man I came in for into Al-Anon because I had to change him and he was drinking too much. And I can drift myself out now onto remember I'm a fantasy addict too. So I wanted a good Canadian guy that would kill me a bear because I live in the city. So I wanted a country guy that would get an F-150 and get me a tiny house and we could grow vegetables and make love on a bearskin rug in a tiny house with a wood fireplace. Okay, so there's my fantasy addiction. But God, and you know my story, he has me in Luxembourg. You know the countries I've gone to. This, I mean, you could write a little, you observe my life. You could write a book on me. And so it's like that's way bigger than my little tiny house up in northern Ontario with black flies and mosquitoes eating me. So read that promise because I don't think people understand what's waiting for them and what they need to do to get it. I'll just mute so you can
Yeah.
break that down.
So this is on page 100, the first full paragraph in the big book. Both you and the new man must walk day by day in the path of spiritual progress. If you persist, remarkable things will happen. When we look back, we realize that the things which came to us when we put ourselves in God's hands were better than anything we could have planned. Follow the dictates of a higher power, and you will presently live in a new and wonderful world, no matter what your present circumstances. Man, that is so powerful. Do you want me to continue with that, or just right there? We're good?
We're good. I just want you to noodle that out
Yeah.
for the guy who's listening, because
Yeah.
that's your experience. And I can come in for a minute and share mine, but I know that's your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the two key phrases, the two key sentences for me is, well, one around those two key sentences is the disaster, is this the reality of the current situation. But when we look back, as I get through that chaotic period, as I get through that disaster in my life, I will realize that the things which came to me when I put myself in God's hands, in the hands of higher power, spiritual principles, and practice those principles in all my affairs, it was better than anything I could have planned. And then that last thing, this last, I can presently or in the future, as I do this, I will live in a new and wonderful world, no matter what I'm experiencing today. The the joy I experience in my life has very little to do with the current circumstances of my life. It has to do with the focus of my life. If my focus is on, oh, woe is me, my life is a mess, my wife left me, my kids are angry at me, my whatever it is, if I'm focusing on that, it's going to be a disaster. But if I put my hands in that, if I put my life in the hands of that higher power and say, you know what? I would love to have these things back and have a quote unquote normal life, but I'm going to trust that what you have for me is better than what I can do, and I'm willing to go through whatever it is to get there. So that's kind of my thoughts as I noodle that out with my own experience and my own uh, um, observations. Any further thoughts on that, Nikki?
Yeah, you and I just went through it, Justin. Justin and I come from, I come from an underground world because I was a burlesque entertainer for many years, Justin. But you and I come, my last job, almost 2 decades was corporate, big corporate jobs, big, and you did too. And so what are we going to do? I lost my job in COVID. I'm not even employable now. And when I look back now, it's like, thank God. And Justin, like you and I had talked about it. I don't know if you're not that you're not fit for that you could do any corporate job out there, but your life is taking you in such a different direction that it's better than anything you can imagine. I've lately said that we have all these gifts. We've been told we have 5 senses. In the big book on page 85, it says, let me just read it. On page 85, it says, if we have carefully followed directions, and that's where I think your friend is missing. You have to carefully follow these directions, sir. So then you will begin to sense the flow of spirit, the flow of spirit. And then you will become God conscious. And I said God because there's a hyphen there. Like, to some extent, Justin and Nikki will become God conscious. And then we begin to develop a vital sixth sense. Now, I'm trying to live in the spirit world a lot, Justin. Like, I don't even like you guys to call me human. And no, I have more than a vital sixth sense. I have about 20,000 senses. Like, I'm getting a sense of like, even like, more than discernment. It's psychic abilities. Now, Justin, do you guys need to call me up? Do I have a crystal ball in my head? No. But as you were speaking, I got a download. I get these downloads a lot of other people, not myself. When you're like, better than anything you could have imagined, all these new ventures we're doing. I see me having dinner with you and Heather celebrating this project we're doing. Oh, and you're paying for it too. Because I got to fly to you. Tickets aren't cheap, okay?
Yeah.
So I saw that. I get these downloads, these sixth sense, these intuitions, this gut, all the things that we're supposed to have that we've been told are hocus pocus. That's only for Jesus, not for us. You understand, like, tell the mountain to move and it moves. Justin, right before we said, fear not. And then I said, oh, yeah, that's mentioned 365 times in the good big book. So I just want to say this is true for me, because when I look back, had I stuck to and it's on page 63, friend, your little plans and designs, your little plans and designs. You see, like, how your silly, stupid, lame ass plans and designs, Justin, because God has big things for you. I'm watching you. You're watching me. If I had done what was best for me, man, I'd be in a lot of trouble. I was patient. And I'm not going to say you're going to be reunited and it feels so good cuz I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I followed the dictates of this. I know my guy wouldn't speak to me for oh my god, it seemed like eternity. I think it was 6 months, but it was eternity. And Justin, we're recording a lot of podcasts in this little bit because I'm going to be away for 3 weeks in a Caribbean island, and I'm going to put my phone away while I can't believe I'm living in this wonderful world.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki, for going through this and opening our eyes to many of these solutions that are in the book, walking us through these situations. If you out there in the listening audience find yourself in a similar place where you're just desperate to get whatever it is back, whether it be a person, whether it be a job, whether it be whatever it may be, put yourself into the hands of that higher power and see what happens. Patiently wait it out, patiently do the work. We never sit there and do nothing while we wait for that to happen, but see what happens. I think a bigger and better and more amazing thing lies ahead. So keep coming back. Stay in this program. Stay in the book. Stay in the work because you are worth it.